Well, the rain letting up a bit across central Arkansas, notwithstanding this video. We've still got cloudy skies all around and flooding remaining a concern as we head into the weekend.
Yeah, this video taken off 6:30 just a few hours ago, showing just how much rain is left out there. And with that concern only growing, we're starting with weather, of course, to get you all caught up ahead of the weekend. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor.
And I am Hoyt, and she is meteorologist Simone Thomas, who is in for Nathan Scott. Great, we got everybody all lined up for you. Now, when do we know when things start to clear up?
Well, I do think as we head into the weekend, can't rule out the chance of nobody getting rain, but I think what we've seen the past couple days, it won't be the story going into the weekend. Just going to be very humid. Here's a look over the past 48 hours. You can see definitely in that centralmost part of the state, while we've obviously had so many flood warnings, that big streak of orange you see is a lot of estimates of 3 inches of rain that has fallen over the past 2 days. But looking a little bit deeper, some of north central Arkansas, where you get into these maroons and even some of these pockets of purple, that's pockets of 4 to even 5 inches of rain that has fallen just over the past 2 days. Now, currently at the top of the 6 o'clock hour, the rain is mainly north of this I-40 axis, where we're seeing a few thunderstorms impacting some portions of White and Jackson County. No severe weather, but we are still tracking this portion of the state with that slight flood risk. That marginal risk doesn't extend into some of central Arkansas, but rain coverage definitely is looking to decrease overnight. A stray shower overnight and then more spotty coverage expected tomorrow. Full details on your weekend. That's coming up in your 7-day outlook.
All right, Simone, thank you. New tonight at 6, ahead of the month before the nation's birthday, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders declaring June as Fidelity Month, a time, she says, to reflect on faith, liberty, and patriotism.
The proclamation points to the Declaration of Independence in a quote from George Washington on the need for virtue in self-government. Meanwhile, Attorney General Tim Griffin, is backing a legal fight over a massive federal database that tracks investors' stock trades.
Yeah, the Republican AG filing a brief in a case against the Securities and Exchange Commission, saying the consolidated audit trail, which helps regulators track suspicious activity, actually creates privacy and security concerns in his mind.
He argues the SEC did not have the authority to create and fund the system. Griffin says his office is leading the challenge on behalf of more than 20 other states.
Well, we've been worried about it for more than a year now. Crooks getting access to people's EBT accounts and then stealing the money. And now some parents say their children's special summer EBT benefits have already disappeared.
One Arkansas mother says all 3 of her children's accounts were wiped clean just 2 hours after they were loaded. And when she called DHS for help, they told her the money had already been spent in Philadelphia.
A failure sometimes. So, because that was for them. That wasn't for adults. It wasn't for anybody else. It was just for children. That kind of takes that food out of their mouths.
The Department of Human Services says they are investigating the issue to see if the scam is similar to what we've seen in the wider food assistance programs. DHS officials do recommend regularly changing your account passwords. Legal online sports betting is way up in Arkansas for 2 of the state's 3 casinos. It's way down for another one. THV11's Carter Thweet breaks down the new numbers and how national companies are reshaping the playing field.
It's been just over 2 months since Arkansas casinos Southland and Oaklawn began partnering with DraftKings and FanDuel. The numbers show that these new combined sports betting apps are pulling in big numbers. In April of last year, $14 million were bet on Oaklawn's app. This year, with FanDuel as a partner, that number shot up to $52 million.
Our sports betting numbers, we are seeing some changes, and that's okay.
Carlton Safa is the chief market officer for Saracen Casino. The Pine Bluff-based gambling giant is the only one in Arkansas without a national partner.
It's an organic product that was built by Arkansans.
But that approach may not lead to the biggest numbers. In April of last year, $26 million were bet on the Bet Saracen app. Now Oaklawn has jumped ahead, with Saracen at $13 million.
Bet Saracen is an Arkansas-built product, built by Arkansans for Arkansans to bet on. We even market it that way. We don't bring in out-of-state celebrities. We don't push folks from other places down your throat all over Instagram and television.
Southland, which pulled in $35 million in online sports bets, didn't return a request for comment. SAFA pointed out that while the other casinos took in more bets, Southland actually paid out more to customers than they took in, and the profit for Oaklawn and Saracen is about the same.
With all of the advertising blitz and all of the free play, this is exactly what you would expect.
For THV11 News, I'm Carter Thweet.
All right, Carter, thank you. According to state records, casinos make the most money from slot machines, and Southland, just across from Memphis, reported the largest profit overall of the state's 3 casinos. Carter also mentioned the $51 million that Oaklawn handled last month. That is a state record. They are sending us a statement on the app's growth, and we will share it with you as soon as we have it on the online version of this story. Also developing tonight, fired Little Rock Bowen Law School professor Felicia Branch is now suing the university, saying they punished her for speech protected by the First Amendment. Administrators fired her last year after she posted about the shooting death of Charlie Kirk, criticizing his supporters. The school's chancellor said her post caused disruption at the state-funded law school. Attorney General Griffin also among the high-ranking state officials who pressed the school to fire Branch. He is specifically named as a defendant in her lawsuit.
An update from a Little Rock courtroom this morning. 21-year-old Quadarius Dunn pleaded not guilty to killing 18-year-old Jacoby Green. He's being held without bond with a review hearing scheduled for July 28th. And that shooting prompted local faith leaders to move from their pulpits to the streets today. THV11's Maya Ellison reports on the citywide call that they are trying to make.
9 homicides. That's how many Little Rock police say they've investigated so far this year. The most recent one happening in this area on Wednesday. But for families that have been impacted and community members, they say 1 is just too many.
We can't stop here. We can't be satisfied with only 9 homicides. We're not satisfied until we have 0 homicides.
Pastor Terrence Long of Mercy Church is wearing another hat, taking his work beyond the pulpit and into the community, calling for safer streets after the sudden violent loss of 18-year-old Jacoby Green.
Jacoby Green is a personal friend of my son. They had plans. My son showed me a text where they had just texted the day before to go fishing. That's what's so hurtful, that right here at graduation time, they were able to celebrate the graduation and things of that nature, hanging out at his house.
Little Rock police say Green was shot and killed right here on West 36th Street. Police have since arrested 21-year-old Quadarius Dunn, now charged with capital murder. For faith leaders who have watched neighborhoods bury too many of their youth, Green's death isn't just another statistic, it's a breaking point.
They're getting their hands on these guns. They think we're living a real life video game. And you can't push the reset button. Once a life is gone, it's gone. A family has lost a child to the grave, but another family has lost a child to the system.
Responding to the senseless acts of violence, Pastor Long and other community leaders gathered right here at Mercy Church, merging faith with a call to keep our streets safe.
These young men, young women have so much potential, and we're killing each other right now.
Now, this time last year, Little Rock police recorded 24 homicides. The number is down, but it does not fill the void for grieving families. Pastor Long says the only way forward is to step out from behind the church doors and to get hands-on. What's the call to action now? Where do we go from here?
Continue prayer and get involved. We need to encourage these young people that there's consequences to your actions, number 1. And mental health is real.
In Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Maya, thank you. There will be a prayer vigil specifically for Green. It'll be on Sunday, and we'll be there to cover that celebration of life and legacy.
Youth safety also top of mind for city leaders in Little Rock as they broke ground on a new building at East Little Rock.
It's called the Carter's Crew Youth Success Center. It comes thanks to a nearly $4 million grant through the Arkansas Opioid Recovery Partnership.
The new building will provide teens with free resources, including substance misuse education. City leaders say it's the first of its kind in Arkansas and hope it can be duplicated across the state and the country.
And as we look ahead through the rest of your evening, a stray shower can't be ruled out, but mainly cloudy with temperatures dipping into the upper 60s and low 70s. Your 7-day forecast and a preview at the weekend is coming up in 3 minutes.